Get it? The title of this video? Boning? Cause he's Skeletor. He's made of bones, kind of. Warning, this video contains spoilers for Masters of the Universe Revelation. It may also ruin your childhood and your life. Let us proceed. In Masters of the Universe Revelation, Part 2, Episode 3, Evil-Lyn finds herself in something of a predicament. You see, Skeletor has acquired He-Man's Sword of Power and is being kind of a dick about it. He's transformed into a godlike version of Skeletor with abilities comparable to He-Man. So Evil-Lyn decides that she needs to trick Skeletor into relinquishing the power so she can steal the sword for herself. And how does Evil-Lyn do that? Well, she seduces Skeletor.
Not like this. If a mere mortal sleeps with a god, she could wake up in the afterlife. No, you must power down, lest you kill me.
Not only is she seducing him now, in the present, but she heavily implies that they have been having sex this whole time.
Fighting with you is always fun, don't get me wrong, but you've been back so long and we've yet to engage in our other favorite pastime.
We get a real call me by your name moment as she straddles Skeletor on the throne. They make out for a bit, and then Evil-Lyn steals the sword. And this is so weird that I just cannot let it go. So, naturally, I made a pro and con list to dating Skeletor. 3 pros, 3 cons, and I think I make a lot of good points. Pro number 1. There is no denying the fact that Skeletor is, in fact, built. Look at his body.
Girl, look at that body. Girl, look at that body. Girl, look at that body. I work out.
Goddamn. From the neck down, Skeletor looks very good. And I do believe he is aware of this fact, considering that he really dresses to accentuate his physique. Skeletor is, perhaps, the only acceptable usage of the arguably offensive term, butterface, commonly used by adolescent boys to describe a woman who is considered very hot in every way but her face. Pro number 2, upward mobility. Now, I'm not saying that you necessarily should sleep your way to the top, but I'm just saying that Evil-Lyn gives us her backstory as a gutter rat whose poverty-stricken parents attempt to kill and eat her when she was 5. So she goes from literally living in the sewer to meeting Skeletor to eventually becoming the sorceress of Grayskull. I've never lived in the sewer or been the attempted victim of cannibalism by multiple family members, and I have a career. But if you were to tell me that I could potentially be the guardian sorceress of a mystical castle, I'd hear things out, you know? Pro number 3. Skeletor is relatively driven and ambitious. He has goals, and he is actively working in pursuit of those goals. His goal is killing He-Man, and he is constantly trying to achieve that dream.
First he will kneel, then he will die. All at the hands of Skeletor!
He's not just sitting on the couch eating Cheetos and complaining that he's bored about his life but not doing anything about it. No, Skeletor has motivation. He's also relatively intelligent. And he is the head of his whole operation, so he clearly has leadership skills, he can make his own schedule, he also has magic. I imagine that you guys could go on some pretty interesting vacations together. Now for the cons. Con number 1, Skeletor is not a good boyfriend. Despite having many appealing qualities and an enterprising demeanor, Skeletor does not treat Evil-Lyn very well. He's shown belittling her and knocking her around. It's very toxic and it's very abusive.
Well, aren't you an imaginative little gutter rat?
And sure, you might think that things would be different between you and Skeletor, that you could change him. But guys like Skeletor never change unless they actually want to. Con number 2. Skeletor is a workaholic. I know I listed his leadership skills and his pursuit of his dreams as positive qualities, but Skeletor takes it just a little bit too far. He doesn't really seem to have adequate work-life balance. I'm imagining so many dinners that get cold because Skeletor is busy out scheming against He-Man, or theater shows where the seat next to you stays empty because Skeletor just had to stay home and work on his maniacal laugh. And con number 3. He has no face! It is just a skull! It's just bone! He has no lips. When you kiss him, you are just kissing bone, and you are kissing teeth, which is made of bone. Okay, technically, teeth aren't actually made of bone. They're made of calcium phosphate, which has a number of different properties to bone. Like, for example, bone is actually living tissue, which is why a broken bone can heal, but a chipped tooth can't. Anyway, you didn't come here to talk to me about dentistry. You came here to talk about making out with Skeletor. Does he have a neck? Does he even have a tongue? You know what Skeletor does have? He has really long, pointy fingernails. So, nope. No thank you. By the way, Mark Hamill voices Skeletor, so that's Mark Hamill's voice you hear. Going, mwah. I hope you enjoyed my list of pros and cons of dating Skeletor. I will never stop being entertained by the fact that the Twilight fanfiction that became 50 Shades of Grey was originally called Master of the Universe. Do you think that E.L. James was trying to tell us something? That maybe Christian Grey isn't just a version of Edward Cullen that replaces the vampirism with BDSM. Maybe he's an amalgamation of Edward Cullen and Skeletor. It would explain so much.